What's up, my little pieces of shit? The Dungeonmaster's back at you again. So, I've been trolling around on the internet just a little bit lately. I found this cancerous person who goes by the name of Riley. Now, we're gonna go ahead. Riley has this little video that has some very, very compelling arguments that we're gonna go ahead and take a look at today. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna change the scenery a little bit just to make it a little more believable. Now, I want all of you to keep in mind that this change in format isn't going to be permanent. It's just something I'm trying out, and I honestly probably won't do very often, unless of course you guys decide that you like it, in which case leave a comment or a like if you do like it, and also don't forget to subscribe. So without further ado, let's do this. Well, here we go, guys. So, what's with the change of scenery? Well, for future references, in case we ever film another video in this particular, this is what I call my cringe shelter. Anytime I'm about to review anything that's cringy or bound to give you some kind of cancer, this is typically where I go. Before we start this video, there's one last thing that I need. My cringe protection goggles. These things make it so that all the cringe and cancer won't make me go blind. Without further ado, let's begin this piece of shit.
Yes. Shoot. You play video games? And you're a girl?
That's not a girl. That is a guy with makeup and pigtails. That little lump in your throat, that's not something that girls have. What is that cancer down in the corner? Everyday feminism? It is a damn good thing that I have these on, because I would already have at least, I'd say, probably 3 to 4 tumors just from that alone.
Hey humans.
Did you just assume my species? Did you just assume that I identify as a human being? That makes you a speciophobe, Riley. I'm only, let's see, 19 seconds into this video, and I'm already triggered.
So, I've got a problem. I'm a really huge nerd, but I'm also a really huge feminist. Now,
that is a problem, isn't it?
I know that doesn't sound like a problem. I mean, after all, they're completely unrelated things. One's about enjoying certain video games and movies and TV shows, and
the other one gives kids cancer on a daily basis and makes it so that they can't live a normal life.
The other one is about creating equality and acceptance for all kinds of people. But unfortunately, there's been this string of anti-feminist thought going on in nerd culture, and I've tried to avoid it for a long time, but now I think it's just time I confront it head on. So look.
Good for you.
If you're a nerd, I'm not calling you an asshole or a misogynist or anything like that, okay? I'm not here to attack you and tear you down. But if you're already discrediting my opinion because I said I'm a feminist, then we need to have this talk. Because
You just discredited my opinion by stating the fact that I'm discrediting your opinion because you are a fucking tumor. This video can only go downhill from there.
I love nerd culture. I love that there are passionate people that can unite together around a shared love for certain things. I love smashing. I mean, playing Super Smash Brothers for hours with my... My friends. I used to play Halo and Call of Duty all the time. I still geek out over Harry Potter on a daily basis. And there have definitely been times where I just watched anime all night for hours and hours on end. And
that doesn't make you a nerd, that makes you a piece of shit weeaboo.
Nerd culture is a huge, complex thing that can never be boiled down to one person or one train of thought. But it does tend to be mostly straight, cisgender men. Even if
you just contradicted your own point there.
If it's by accident, nerd culture does manage to exclude women and LGBTQ plus people in a bunch of different ways. And
that's because they don't exist. I'm sorry, but when it comes to gender, I don't care what you may identify as. Let's just say, if I had a quarter for every gender, I would have 50 cents. Because there's only 2.
That sucks, because nerd culture is supposed to be the culture of the neglected. It's supposed to be the culture of the people who were never popular in high school, or who didn't have a lot of friends, or who were bullied for one reason or another. As a culture basically founded on being outcasts, I think it's absolutely necessary that we are as open and accepting as possible.
The fact that you assume that tells me that you're not actually part of the culture. You just decided to sit down one day and watch the movie Revenge of the Nerds. And that's where you got these ideas. This is pathetic.
Otherwise, nerd culture becomes just as mean and elitist as the people who bullied us in high school. If you consider yourself a nerd, all I'm asking is that you hear me out and listen with an open mind and try to imagine what it would be like if you were a woman or a part of the LGBTQ plus community. So here.
Well, if I was one of those two, I probably would have killed myself by now, so that's out the window.
Here it is, 5 ways you can help nerd culture become more inclusive. Number 1, don't act like it's a miracle if a woman or a girl likes video games or other nerdy things. I know that my skit in the beginning of the video was a little exaggerated, but just a little bit.
It was really exaggerated.
I've actually seen people act that surprised when they find out that a woman likes video games or Star Wars or anything like that.
I really don't believe you. And I'm honestly already starting to doubt your credibility. I was doubting your credibility at the beginning of the video with the everyday feminism cancer at the beginning. But now the things that are coming out of your mouth are just making it so that you're losing even more credibility, and you started out with none.
Even when it's intended as a compliment, it's really insulting to women. Because nerd women have been around for as long as nerd men have been around. They've just been ignored and shoved to the sidelines because of some very systematic misogyny.
Systematic misogyny. Let's go on a little journey of what that means. Basically, what that means is that you don't see enough girls who are into guy stuff. You don't see enough girls who are into guy stuff. Therefore, the stuff that guys are into is misogynistic because it is intended for guys, because it is what guys are into. But because, in your opinion, there aren't enough girls who are also into it, that means that it is misogynistic, anti-woman, sexist, racist. That is the definition of systematic misogyny. You need to step down from whatever high horse you think you are on.
Gaming industry and other parts of nerd culture have by and large been run by and for men. And when you act surprised that a woman likes something nerdy, you're insinuating, whether intentional or not, that it's unusual or weird for her to like that.
That's because it is.
The only thing weird about this whole situation is that nerd men have been pretending that nerd women haven't existed for such a long time. Number 2, don't force people to prove that they like something. So you meet a woman and she says that she likes Star Wars, and you manage to play it cool and you don't act surprised, but you don't really believe her. So you ask her questions like these. Who's Chewbacca's grandfather?
Chewbacca's grandfather was brought up in the Star Wars Holiday Special, and they never disclosed his name, but he was there.
Which hand does Luke Skywalker have cut
His right one.
off? What color is Yoda's lightsaber?
Green.
But all of these questions are really just part of a test to find out if she's really nerdy or not. But men aren't subjected to tests like this. If you're a guy and you say that you like Star Wars, people just believe you. And it should be the same for women. If someone says that they like something, just let them like it. They don't have to be an expert with every single detail.
So if I like going around and kidnapping black people and hanging them from a tree, whatever. It's what I like. So therefore it's none of your business. And nobody has the right to judge me for it. This is the message that you're trying to send out, Riley.
Memorize. Number 3, advocate for more diverse characters in video games, TVs, movies, and books.
Oh, you mean like Lara Croft, Game of Thrones, Bioshock? All of these things are widely popular things that have very strong female characters in them. Not just characters, but main characters.
Even though I love all different kinds of media, there's a problem with most of it. It's a lot of straight, white, cisgender men. Video games largely feature playable male characters with over-sexualized female characters. Movies like Star Wars and Lord of the Rings have almost no women at all.
Almost no women at all. Princess Leia, Eowyn. Shit, I don't remember her name. The lady that wipes out, the lady that ends up killing the Witch King of Endor.
And most of the characters in all of our media tend to be white. You could argue that this is changing. Women have been playing more prominent roles in upcoming books and movies like The Hunger Games and Divergent, and FIFA 2016 will be the first edition of the game to feature playable female characters. But there's still...
Except those first two things that you mentioned suck. So probably not good examples. You go watch the World Cup and see how many females there are out on the field.
But there's still a lot of work that needs to be done for people of color, women, and LGBTQ people. Representation is important. People need to see themselves represented in our media. It inspires people and it sets the status quo for what's normal. And I think we're on the right track, but we need to keep pushing for more diverse characters. Number 4, be wary of the language that you use.
Shut the fuck up, you faggot.
Have you ever been on Xbox Live? It's like the comment section of the gaming community, just horrible slurs and terrible things that you never want to hear all in one place. I had to quit that thing back in high school. But certain words and slurs genuinely hurt people and make them not want to be a part of the community. For example, if you use rape as a synonym for destroying something, you can cause PTSD flashbacks for rape survivors.
I swear to God, if you keep going on this shit, I will rape you, Riley.
If we want nerd culture to be one of acceptance, we have to be willing to change some of the words that we use to make people feel more welcome. I think a lot of people have this mentality that you can choose what words offend you, and that people who are hurt by words are just being too sensitive.
Because they are.
But that's a really damaging way of looking at it. Words have a lot of power because they have historical and cultural significance, but also a lot of times people associate certain words with traumatic events in their lives. Brushing off this whole argument by saying that people are too sensitive really makes nerd culture a place where only people who haven't been traumatized by particular slurs are allowed to be. Number 5, don't threaten people that criticize you or nerd culture. I feel like this last one should go without saying, but apparently it needs to be said. Don't send hate messages or rape or murder threats to people who criticize you. Even if you disagree with someone, that doesn't mean that they deserve that. We can disagree peacefully. Even if your threat is hollow, they don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get serious with you guys for a minute here. This last tip is actually pretty good. This last tip is actually not bad. The problem that I have with it is that you saved it for the very last tip. So you already piled on all that shit and cancer to make yourself completely not credible at all. And so by this point, even though this is a very, very good point and very good tip, the hole that you have dug for yourself is already way too deep to climb out of. So I don't even know what to say other than that.
That. And even if they do know that, it can still take a toll on their mental health. I know this isn't going to convince everyone. I'm sure I'll find some very creative homophobic and transphobic slurs down in the comments, but I'm hoping that I can convince at least a few of you. Throwing threats and insults around doesn't do anything to help your cause. In fact, it only proves why women and LGBTQ+ people don't feel safe in nerd culture. Alright, well that is everything I have for you today. This video is a part of a series I'm doing for Everyday Feminism.
Oh, blah 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 blah. I'm not gonna let you guys have to sit through any more cancer. You saw the video. So as far as I'm concerned, it ends there. There are a lot of things wrong with this video. The main thing I would say being that these lashes really came in handy, because oh my God, the cringe was strong with this video. The cringe was there. I mean, I might have... I'm a dude and I might have to go get screened for breast cancer after this. That's how cancerous this material is. If you want to actually watch this video and make fun of Riley yourself, I'm going to go ahead, there's going to be a link to the original video down in the description. And also, an interesting point, I went through this video mainly just looking at the cringe and the cancer that this video provided, and went over all the reasons why this video shouldn't even exist. Now, there's this YouTuber named Rags, who some of you may already know of, who he has a video that goes much more in depth. It's easily twice as long as this one, probably way more by the time I'm done editing this. And so if you want to go watch a video that covers this in a much broader and more descriptive way, you should definitely go check out his video. I'll leave a link to that in the description also. But thank you for watching this video, and tune in next time when I ejaculate licorice. I'm just kidding, that's an iDubbbz thing.